Hello, this is Renee Manfrey. It is Sunday, I believe, on the 30th of March, 2025, and I'm on live, I believe, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and also Facebook channel. So this live here is really kind of going over some things that I'm finding at a very crucial point in 2025. That we're in March, which is almost the first quarter of the year, right? And there's so many different changes. There's so many things going on. There's so much noise out there. So much between politics, AI, different businesses that are coming into the United States. Really great things. And I find that at this point, sometimes you just have to kind of step back and look at your own position and say, what is it that you're trying to do for you and your family? You can get wrapped up in all of the politics and all these different things that are going on, but it's really setting back and really reevaluating yourself and doing an audit of where you are, where you have been, where you're trying to go to. And when I look at my current situation with different businesses that I'm working with, certain things that I'm trying to do for my own purposes, I have 3 different books that I'm trying to kind of get in a pipeline before the end of year 2025, at least one. I have a few individual partnerships that I'm trying to create in the AI space, which I'm very excited about. You'll hear about some of those as we're going through this live. I'm going to share with you some information towards the end to be more connected with some of these opportunities. And again, just sharing that I feel that so many people are on LinkedIn. You're seeing a lot more, that's not LinkedIn only, but I'm saying when you look at LinkedIn, when you look at social media channels, you're looking at Facebook, YouTube, it's just overwhelming, right? I was listening to a video today with a gentleman, and even himself, he's basically sharing that in today's world, it's really the new version or the new education is these channels. It is YouTube, it is LinkedIn, it is doing these lives. And why am I doing these lives? That I find over the course of the last few years, I've been gradually getting better on my podcast and interviewing really good people in different industries, different verticals, I guess. And I really I'm getting more and more excited every day because I do see things are speeding up very fast. And you want to be part of it. You don't want to miss out on the boat. If you look back over the last 10, 15, 20 years, how things have changed so quickly, and you're just changing and you're seeing it and you're a spectator. But if you want to really get in on the game to where you can benefit from some of it, you have to be intentional. You have to get in the game, and you have to look at your current situation, whether you're employed, whether you're starting a small business or you already have a business and a team. What's going to take you from changing that situation to becoming better, right? And you have to become better for yourself first before you can create anything. And I think that's where a lot of people just don't understand the time, energy, effort that it takes to become successful. You have to learn and you have to become exposed. You have to put in the time, energy, and that's where a lot of people are not willing to do. I feel like this is a very instrumental time when if you really look at these channels, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're watching me on right now, that you use these channels as your opportunity to showcase your expertise, showcase what you have a passion to do. I started What's Your Passion about 4 years ago during the COVID time. And, it was an opportunity for me to kind of just sit back and just really see what is it that other people were doing over the last few years. I got exposed to, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, so many different people that I'm listening to right now, Dan Martell, so many others, that these are people who I never really saw over the course of the last few years, knew of them, but I wasn't paying attention. And the more that I looked on YouTube and the more that I'm in YouTube, I wasn't on YouTube looking too much. And then I started realizing that YouTube is pretty much becoming the future of our channel of communication. So the opportunities that you have is that you want to get a little bit more educated on these systems and services. You want to start using the services. You want to start doing something, because the only way you're going to learn how to do these things is to actually do it. It's to actually do every single day, doing something step by step to get you closer to what you're trying to get. It's very important to understand what I'm sharing with this, that you have to be intentional every day on getting better at learning. This past 2 weeks, I'm going to just share that I was at a 10X growth conference in Vegas. And so we had the opportunity to go in and, it really had some incredible speakers. But at the same time, I was like, it's this everything that everyone talks about, that they're sharing their past, what they went through, the struggles, the pain, the late nights, the divorces, the financial struggles, whatever it may be. Every single success story you see out there, everyone goes through something. And you have to be willing to go through those times to get through where you're trying to go to, because you're not going to learn these things by just sitting on a sideline and hoping and waiting for something to happen, or the government's going to change, or so stop blaming and becoming a victim is pretty much my biggest advice. That I don't have time to wait for things to happen. I don't have time for somebody to make a phone call to me or come knock on my door. So I've learned, and I was doing this earlier as I'm putting together my book, that I'm very excited about coming out this year, towards the end of the year. And as I'm doing it, I'm really kind of going back and taking an audit of what are some of the experiences and the things that occurred through all the way back down to childhood that affected some of my beliefs, some of my exposures. What did I learn from certain things or certain people or certain opportunities? So the school system, I had a meeting this week with one of the schools, I'm not going to name names, but they're one of the largest colleges in New Orleans. And what they don't teach is the basics to these students. And sometimes the challenge is the students are not learning things from the parents, because maybe the parents aren't in certain things, right? So for me, I look at what I learned from my parents, what I learned from my brothers, what I learned from certain neighbors and people who are friends with our family. All these different things from my childhood were what actually gave me little confidence builders, I guess you can say, through the years, and then becoming and working for someone and adding value to that organization is where I gained my confidence. So you're not going to be an entrepreneur and have a business that is going to succeed probably the first time if you haven't gone through helping someone else succeed at their business, right? And it's sometimes everybody's jumping into trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to do things without saying, maybe I can go work for somebody first, experience what their systems are, experience what their leadership, teamwork, different processes and things of that nature, and take that information to help me with my current business. I went to an entrepreneurship week this past week, and I was exposed to some individual leaders who done some incredible things. A good friend, Chris Moe, that is launching a new program right now. I'm very excited about it, hopefully being part of in some way, shape, or form. But, as he was just kind of sharing his story of, back in years ago when he created the Waiter app, and they made some mistakes. They were planning on making it more of a dining experience, and they shifted to a delivery experience, became very successful. And now he's in the process of creating a platform that I am very strongly about, is providing a program that has the ability where individuals can ask a question to someone like Chris, or someone who is, like myself or others, who are coaches and trainers who've gone through these processes, that you can ask a question. And just like with ChatGPT and everything else, you can ask it a question, but sometimes you can't really get the actual understanding of it unless you talk to a person who's actually done it. So like when it comes down to sales and marketing, those are two things that are the most important in most businesses. So you can have a beautiful product, you can have a great idea, but if you don't know how to sell it, pitch it, get it out there into the universe, it's just going to sit on a shelf. And I've gone through this with a certain amount of people through the years to help them understand that you have to get good at sales and selling yourself. So when I say sales, it's nothing more than coming up with the vision, the mission, and belief that you can portray to someone else to see that it can be happen, right? When I first started with, I guess when I can go back with the health club business, my older brother, all the way back when I was 8 years old. That, I think, for me, is when I really started really understanding the ability of sales, the ability of just confidence, the ability of just kind of communicating with people and helping them solve a problem. So when people will come into the gym, they will have a problem, and whether losing weight, gaining weight, and I was basically just showing them what to do. These are the certain machines that you do. This is what the machine, how to use the machine, how to do the workout, and this is the potential muscle that you're building, right? So it's the same thing with any other business: problem, solution, problem, solution. So if you have a solution to a problem, you can change the world, right? You can change, do some good things with it. And you got to look at, hey, is this something that I can do for someone? But at the same time, if you don't have the skills of the marketing or the sales and things of that nature, that's where you kind of grab onto mentors and find people who already did it, watch YouTube and learn as much as you can, right? So I wanted to kind of go over the how can I. So this whole topic today is how can I, right? And you start off with sometimes this mindset: how can I do that? How can I accomplish that? How can I? And these are questions that you ask yourself. So get really good at asking questions to yourself. Ask these questions not only to yourself, but get good at asking the questions to other people who can maybe help you answer the question. And so I was always very curious, and I'm more curious now in my older age than I think I was when I was a child, because I didn't really understand the power of questions, even though I was always curious. And it's like, if I don't know something, I want to know so I can do it. And if I can do it and succeed with it, then it gave me confidence, right? So when you explore just 10 things that I feel is going to potentially help some individuals in this process, it really is embracing. So number one is embracing challenges as stepping stones. So when you explore the strategies for cultivating a go-getter mentality that propels you forward, even in the face of adversity, these are top 10 things I would say that can potentially help you move forward. So think about where you are and think about where you want to go to. Think about your situation, whether it's finances, business, personal, whatever it may be, and say, okay, what do I need to do to get small little daily successes to become better or get at my surroundings better? So if it's areas that you're looking at your bills or finances, start figuring out, okay, what can I do to get, what do I have to make? What do I have to do to get some debt down, get rid of some bills, or get pay some bills, right? What can I do to make extra money? Or what can I do to get a raise? Go to your current situation, your current environment, and see what you can do at your workplace to excel yourself, to get more. So I'm guilty of this, and I think a lot of other people are guilty of this. Sometimes you kind of you're thinking that you maxed out your current position and your current opportunity, but really you haven't maxed it out, and you start jumping to a next one. And I've done this because I have ADD, and it's like, okay, let me just start. So I have different things, which is kind of good and kind of bad. I think it's pros and cons on it, because I have learned a lot because I have excelled in certain different industries. So I've learned more for myself, so I can help more people versus just one niche. So insurance, real estate, health club, restaurant, different things, lawn care business. We have a transportation. So I know I do different things, but I manage them because I have people pretty much doing it. So I've learned the ability of doing it, learning it, and then teaching it. So if you can get good at just doing it for yourself, you'll learn eventually how to start teaching, coaching other people, so you can have multiple things going on a daily basis versus yourself. Understanding it's going to be very difficult to become wealthy by yourself without adding on people and systems. And that's where the transformation right now comes in with AI and learning social media channels and different things, just taking the time to learn it. But at the same time, going outside of your comfort zone and getting exposed, whether it's events or reaching out to people like myself or others, going on YouTube, watching different things, and just every day maybe watch something that's going to help you get better, help you get a bit more clearer on what you're trying to accomplish, right? So embrace challenges as stepping stones. Go-getters see obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than roadblocks. Cultivate a mindset that welcomes challenges as chances to learn and improve. So I'm going to put this information into my newsletter blog if you don't write this down, because I really didn't have a chance today to put all this to work. I can pop it up on a screen. So I would say write it down. So embrace challenges as stepping stones is number one. Number two is set ambitious yet achievable goals. So a go-getter mindset thrives on setting high standards for oneself while also breaking them down into manageable steps. Set clear, measurable goals that push you out of your comfort zone and motivate you to take action. So again, I know you heard this, and I know a lot of people hear this. You hear everybody talking about this, but do you really take it in and do it? Do you really take into consideration and having your belief system? Your belief system is what blocks many people from doing anything, because they just feel like, oh, I heard that before. That's a bunch of hip hop, whatever. But just understand, every person I listened to this past week when I was in the conference, Martha Stewart, Ryan Reynolds, Jimmy Johns, Charlie Kirk, Mike Rowe, I'm sorry, and so many others. But every single one of them have grown their influence through the years, through the power of overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges, moving forward, getting into position to where they were put into and exposed to certain opportunities at the right time. So if you're not prepared for the opportunity, what's going to happen is you're not going to see the opportunity. So just remember what I just now said with that. If you're not prepared for the opportunity, you're not going to see the opportunity and be able to grab the opportunity. So this is very important in today's time, that I say that to majority of people who are working with me in different aspects, that I am pushing people to learn faster, because you have to learn and push yourself faster. You can't wait for it to happen, and you can't wait for people to come to you and give you to this Holy Spirit, name of the Father, Son, here you go. You have to intentionally figure out what is it that you want. It's very much like a GPS system. Your mind is like a GPS system. And if you're not putting new information in on a daily basis, really kind of saying, okay, where am I at now? And where do I want to go to? And small little increments of how to get there. Give an example. So last night I was on the way to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I had a flat tire. So tire started going down low fast. And luckily I was able to turn off into one of the way stations that are not on the interstate. So I was in a safe location. And when I went to get the jack, I put the jack under the truck, but I didn't put it in the right spot. And because I didn't put it in the right spot, it didn't lift the truck up. And so I called roadside assistance. And because I haven't changed the tire in so long, I just didn't realize that there was another section underneath. So again, here's about an hour and a half went by. The guy couldn't figure out where I was. I wound up having a phone call with the gentleman who now it's going to actually potentially, it kind of started up a new conversation on a new business idea, because he just basically had a conversation. I told him, so listen, I have the jack, I have everything. The only reason I need your guy who can't find me, because I didn't have an address for him to get to him because of certain circumstances, common sense, things of that nature. Couldn't figure out where I was. And so I was frustrated, but I told the guy, listen, I have everything. But he said, did you put it in this certain spot? I said, well, I never thought about that. So I wound up going under the truck again, figuring out where that spot was, and took care of it, right? So my lack of knowing, my lack of understanding that there's a certain different spot that I needed to put it into, or could put it in. And because of that lack of knowledge or understanding, it cost me 2 hours of my time. I was frustrated, but this person, because he knew the situation, he was able to help me make it guide me, right? So again, sometimes we all get into these little points and we find ourselves lost, confused, a little bit frustrated because we know we're on the right track. We know we're going where we're going and where we want to go to, but it's like certain little missing pieces to the puzzle. So when you're setting your number two, when you set ambitious yet achievable goals, just understand that, you know, you're going to have to be motivated. You're going to have to persistently go towards it, and just be harder on yourself than anybody else. And just know that sometimes you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to ask more questions, or you're going to have to find out and seek support or somebody else who can help you. Number three, develop a resilient mindset. Cultivate resilience by bouncing back from setbacks stronger than before. View failures as valuable learning experiences and use them to fuel your determination and succeed. So that was number three. That was develop a resilient mindset. Again, I'm going to post this into my newsletter blog tonight. So the information I'm sharing with you right now, if you don't have a chance to write it down, just come back to my newsletter, subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter, and I'll probably post it on different areas of whether it's Facebook and potentially YouTube. So number one was embrace challenges as stepping stones. Number two was set ambitious yet achievable goals. Number three is develop a resilient mindset. Number four is take initiative and ownership. Very important. Go-getters don't wait for opportunities to come to them. They create their own, take proactive steps to pursue their goals, whether it's networking, seeking mentorship, or starting your own projects. So when we say so, it's taking initiative and ownership. Very important that you have to be harder on yourself. As I said this a couple of times through this video, you have to be intentional on what you're doing and where you're trying to go to, because nobody's going to come knocking at your door and say, hey, we got this great opportunity for you. You have to push yourself into positions. You have to be proactive. You have to show people that you are ready and prepared to help them and bring value to them. I am consistently doing this at this point in my life because there are so many good things that I've done in my life, but at the same time, because of my lack of exposure or lack of resources, that I was not able to accomplish the big goals that I really wanted to accomplish. And now, because of certain things that are in place with my own life and business, that I'm just at a point now to where I'm realizing, okay, I need to have additional resources to come into my life, and there's certain relationships that can help me, but at the same time, me help them excel to the next level. And that's where mentorships come. That's where taking the time on a daily basis to learn small little skills or small little things that you might be not learning at this point, and taking that opportunity to put yourself in those positions. So take initiative and ownership. That's number four. Number five is stay focused on progress. So maintain a laser-like focus on your long-term vision while also celebrating small victories along the way, and keep track of your progress and use it as fuel to propel you forward. So stay focused on progress. Progress equals success, period. If you're every single day, if you're staying focused when you wake up in the morning time and you're writing down, what is it that I have to do today that's going to progress me forward? That's whether it's learning something, that's whether it's new relationships you got to build, that's whether you're going to somewhere of a networking event, or creating a conversation, or whatever you have to do. Every day you're getting closer. So each day I'm always progressing, and I'm looking at, okay, what do I have to do today to put things in the pipeline for other income producing opportunities? But at the same time, what is it that I have to do today to take care of the current customers that I currently have and clients that I work with? But at the same time, what do I have to do to keep on putting and building the pipeline? So building, it's kind of like building a house, right? You build your foundation, you put up the walls, then you're consistently working around that and making it stronger, right? But you can't skip the basic foundation. So the basic foundation is really sitting down and scheduling out, what is today going to be like? What do I need to do today? 3 things, 5 things. That's it. Don't think you can do everything in one day, because you can't. I try, but I realize that I can't accomplish that. So So number 6 is number 6, cultivate a positive attitude. Let me see. So cultivate a positive attitude is number 6. A positive mindset can be a powerful driver for success. Practice gratitude, optimism, and self-belief to overcome challenges and stay motivated in the face of adversity. So that's number 6, is cultivate a positive attitude. And an attitude is really, I think that if you put that on the top of the list, that your attitude, your mindset, your belief, all of these different things play a big part. Even though I know you hear this, I know a lot of people hear all this and they just bypass it as, oh, well, that's just hoopla, that's motivation, whatever. Every single event that I go to, there's motivation, there's mindset. That's every person is talking that has been successful. If you really listen to them, all have these certain traits that they had to build in their mind belief, but they also understood that they had to have the power of doing certain things to get closer to making that belief reality. And it's hard for some individuals to really understand that, oh, why am I putting this time into listening to these videos or talking to this mentor or whatever it may be? But understand that just like going to school, you're not going to learn everything in one day. You're not going to learn everything from one person. You're not going to learn everything from in a short period of time. You're going to have to learn and do. So the only way you're going to learn how to fix an engine is by actually getting there and doing little pieces at a time and having someone else helping you understand what to do and what not to do, where to put wires, what bars to put, take things of that nature. The same thing with kind of like a lawnmower, right? A riding lawnmower. Sometimes you're going to get on a riding lawnmower, but if you've never ridden one before, then you're not going to know what buttons to press, where to turn, what levers to move. So just like getting into a new car sometimes is, okay, well, where do I start? What button to press, especially these days with these new cars, right? So you always have to really understand that these are just steps that I'm sharing with you that can help you change your life if you take it serious and if you're willing to ask questions. If you're not willing to ask questions and be humble enough to let people know, hey, I don't know everything. And I'm very humble because I know I don't know everything. And that's why I seek out mentors. That's why I paid, thousands and thousands of dollars, not only into systems and courses, mentorships, but at the same time, I've also spent hundreds of thousands on losses on business stuff that because I didn't know, but I didn't stop because I made a mistake. I just don't, well, I just didn't know. So some people look at, if you have a failure, it's like the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's just, it was a hiccup. It was a mistake. It was a challenge. How many successful people, like when you really listen to their stories, have failed, or they went through auditions and auditions and auditions and auditions and auditions, but it took them years to get their first big role. But they played a small part in all of these other movies and auditions, right? So everybody looks up to these celebrities and things of that nature, and football players and sports, but they don't realize what the things that they go through on a daily basis is what you don't go through. And that's where it's a discipline, and it's the belief, and it's the power of passion, purpose, that you see where you're going, that drives you on a daily basis to do those things. Number 7 is surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with people who inspire and support your ambitions. Seek out mentors, peers, and role models who embody the go-getter mentality and learn from their experiences. Number 8 is continuously seek growth and self-improvement. Cultivate a growth mindset by constantly seeking opportunities to learn, grow, and develop new skills. Invest in yourself through education, training, and personal development initiatives. Number 9 is take calculated risk, and that's go-getters aren't afraid to step out of their comfort zones and take calculated risk in pursuit of their goals. Assess risk carefully, but don't let fear hold you back from seizing opportunities to growth and successes. Number 10 is stay hungry and never settle. Cultivate an insatiable hunger for progress and improvement. Keep raising the bar for yourself, and never settling for mediocrity. Strive for excellence in everything you do, and let your relentless pursuit of success drive you forward. So these are just, again, certain things that I wanted to share today. Those are the top 10. So number 1 was embrace challenges and stepping stones. Number 2, set ambitious yet achievable goals. Number 3, develop a resilient mindset. Number 4 was take initiative and ownership. 5 was stay focused on progress. Cultivate. Number 6, cultivate a positive attitude. Number 7 is surround yourself with positivity. Number 8 is continuously seek growth and self-improvement. Number 9 is take calculated risk. And number 10 is stay hungry and never settle. So I'm going to be putting these into a newsletter in my LinkedIn, and I'll be sharing that on other platforms. So I'll probably have that on there sometime tonight. So on another part that, again, when you're looking at AI, AI is, a lot of people are confused what AI is. So I'm going to try my best to really just make this as simple as possible. So when you look at AI, all it is artificial intelligence. And all it is when you look at the phone systems that we have today, it's like, what is it that has changed the world over the last few years is technology, and the ability of technology being able to speed up the processes. So by speeding up the processes, it helps you and I accomplish our goals faster. We have machines that can do more than a person. You have a lot of different things that people are worried about the future of, oh, it's going to take people's jobs. Listen, the bottom line is we've gone through challenges and changes for decades and decades and decades and decades. All it does is create more opportunity. So when technology comes for business owners, it just gives us more opportunities to create more and be able to create more jobs in addition to. So the AI systems that are being created right now, yes, they are going to take some positions, but at the same time, it gives you an opportunity to potentially learn something new that they will need for another position. So don't get comfortable sometimes in your current position, because yes, if you're not bringing value to the organization and you're just basically filling a spot where you're just answering phones, yes, that may be replaced, because your position just answering phones may be replaced, because the systems now can speed up faster and call people. You can have thousands of phone calls in a minute versus a person, right? So yes, there are certain things as entrepreneurs and business owners that we're consistently looking at. What is it that I can replace that's going to get me faster systems, faster services, faster exposure? When it's looking like doing videos like this, right? These videos, once I take this video and I put it into a system, then I can create 30 to 50 different shorts that can go out in massive amounts. A person can't do that. So yes, there are certain things that AI is creating, but instead of looking at the negative side to it, look at the positive side and say, hey, how can I get into this and learn to where I can bring value to these companies as we're progressing in the future? I'm working with a local company right now it's an incredible program, and how it is basically just taking a lot of the processes that I see are affecting a lot of different industries, if not every industry, that our average person doesn't do what they're supposed to do on a daily basis. They're not making enough phone calls, especially in sales. They're not doing the things that are progressively getting appointments. So if I can create a system that's going to make more phone calls, set more appointments, to where that person can just be the end part to set the appointment with the individual and close the sale, whatever the service and sale that is, why not? So you have to start looking at these systems and everything as an opportunity versus not an opportunity. I look at everything as blue ocean, that I want to be in a blue ocean versus red ocean. That'll be another topic I'm going to go into down the line. But you have red ocean, which is a lot of competition, a lot of things. Everybody's doing the same thing. But a blue ocean is something a little bit different. So and you don't have as much enough competition, right? More competition. So I try to stay out of the red ocean, get into the blue ocean, because I want to be in something that's more progressive and faster and today and new versus something that's everybody's already doing, right? So that's where you want to start hopping into what I call the blue ocean. So when you start learning these strategies, learning these techniques and systems, so it can put you more valuable to a person like myself, that if you know these things and you can make and help my systems and my company grow faster in certain areas, then you are now an asset. So you have assets and you have liabilities. You want to become an asset in your whole life, in your family's life, your life, people's lives. Always look at yourself as, am I adding value to people? Am I adding value to my organization? Am I adding value to my employer? Am I adding value to my family? Am I adding value? And if you're adding value, then you're basically positioning yourself to be valuable and become an asset to anyone who you choose. So it opens up doors when you do that. And that is my message mainly today, is how can I? Is when you think about it, you ask that question, how can I? And you start looking for answers, whether it's online, social media, reaching out to mentors like myself and others. Stay tuned over the next few weeks. We're going to be launching a new program on April 8th, Quimana. I'm very excited about it. Chris Moe and his wife and his team has put together a fantastic program that I'm hoping to be part of in a lot of different ways. But that program, I feel, will maybe be a solution to a lot of people's problems because they're looking for answers. So sometimes it's just trying to figure out how. And I always open up my LinkedIn, my YouTube, and all my social media channels, that if you're looking for answers, feel free to just ask a question. And if I can help you in some way, shape, or form to answer the question or get you some type of fast results, I'm not looking at charging you for just answering a question, right? So I'm willing to work with certain individuals at this point. And I find that some people are just not asking questions, not only to me, but anybody, because of the fear of being charged or whatever. So you got to open yourself up and just say, you know what, for me to get to where I'm trying to go to, even if it costs, you're either going to pay now or you're going to pay later. You're going to pay a small amount now, but you're going to pay a bigger amount later because you didn't ask the question, or you didn't invest into educating yourself, invest into yourself, period. So these are just small things that I find are very important things that each person needs to understand when you're looking at excelling your life, changing your life. You are the change in the world. You can't wait for the world to change. You have to change your world. So that's part of my saying, that I can't change the world. I just got to change my world. And then maybe over time, I can start changing smaller and smaller people to eventually change the billions of people in the world, right? So Renee Manfred, what's your passion? I hope that this live stream and live event gave you some nuggets, some information that can potentially help you with some areas of your life, whether it's personal or business, and can excel you in the direction. And what your passion is really all about, just helping people facilitate themselves through the process of where they are and where they want to go to. And if we can provide any way within our community, we have a free community where people can plug into, that I'm constantly adding videos in there, not only for myself, but others, that I feel that these are people that are changing people's lives and are adding value in the world we live in. So thank you very much and have a great evening. Renee Manfred. Bye. Let's sign off right here.